Hello gamers, Matthew here from Grey Army Gaming in lovely Furgalund, Sweden. For this video today, we are beginning a journey in solo role-playing gaming. And the first step in this is to create a character. Now, if you are like me and you like challenges, improvisational challenges in your gaming, well then this is going to be perfect for you. What we're going to do is we're going to walk through the different parts of the character creation process and create a character entirely randomly. And we're going to hold ourselves to the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition and draw on a couple other sources in order to fill some of the things out. But for the most part, it's going to be D&D 5e. And we're going to walk through race, class, background, alignment, sex, name, trinkets, and other things like that. And hopefully at the end of this process, you'll have a character that you can use to throw yourself right into some interesting role-playing, solo role-playing. So here we go. Let's go ahead and start off with our race. We're going to take a D10 to begin with, and you see all the options here now from dwarf, elf, halfling, human, dragonborn, gnome, half-elf, half-orc, tiefling. On a 10, we will roll again on our D10. So here we go. Let's go ahead and give our first roll for race. And a 3. We have a halfling. So I'm going to open up the player's handbook now to the halfling section. This is under chapter 2. And see if there's anything extra that we need to include under halfling, if there are any extra things we want to roll for. So here we go, page 26. I'm going to look ahead here. It looks like, no, there aren't that many extra options, so we will leave it there for halfling. Next, we're going to go ahead and roll for our class. So let's get out our D12. And our classes go from barbarian all the way down to wizard. So here we go, D12. And it is a 4, so we are going to have a druid. Same thing here. Let's look up druid in the handbook and see if there are any additional options we need to roll for there. So we are into chapter 3 here. And there's cleric. And let's see here. Druid. All right. Any additional features we want to roll for? Let's see here. Oh, here's some good things. We have different kinds of druids. We have Arctic, coast, desert, forest, grassland, mountain, swamp, and underdark. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go ahead and roll those out to give a little more specific flavor to our character. And that's a 5. That will be a grassland druid. So there we go. We have now specified what kind of druid we are. We are a grassland druid. And let's go ahead now and check out our background. Now for our background, there are 13 possible backgrounds. We're going to roll a D20 now. And if we roll a 14 to 20, we'll roll again. But otherwise, we will select the specific background that we get for this one on our D20. Here we go. Let's roll it out. It is an 8. And that is a noble. All right, let's open up noble and check out the different extra options for noble. So let's run over to the background section here. And there's tons of different options. And we're going to roll for different traits and things like that as well. So let's open up the handbook to the proper page. And let's see, what did we say here? We said that we had, in fact, a noble, okay? Okay, here we go, noble. This is on page 135. So here's what we're going to do now is we're going to roll for our specific personality traits, our ideals, our bonds, and our flaws. Now this is going to be extra cool because we're going to draw on these later when we are in fact playing our game. So let's begin with a D8 now for our personality trait. And that is an 8. It says here, if you do me an injury, I will crush you, ruin your name, and salt your fields. Okay, so that is a pretty salty characteristic trait there. So I'm a bit of a salty gnome, salty halfling. Ideals, we need to roll a D6. And there's a 5. Family is my ideal. Blood runs thicker than water. So there we go. Family is my ideal. Same thing for the bond. We will roll a D6 again. That is a 1. I will face any challenge to win the approval of my family. Well, that actually fits quite well with the family ideal. All right, so I have that for my bond, and now for the flaw. And flaws are actually really cool. This makes it a lot of fun when you're trying to play a character. The characters are made by their flaws, right? So this is interesting. What kind of flaw do we get? Number 4, I have an insatiable desire for carnal pleasures. Oh my goodness. Wow, so that is incredible. I'm a noble who has a insatiable desire for carnal pleasures. So a bit of an aesthete seeking after these carnal pleasures. All right, with those done, let's run over to our alignment now. We're going to roll a d10 for our alignment. And we have 9 alignments. If we roll a 10, we will re-roll it. That is a 7. I am lawful evil. Wow, this guy is turning out to be quite interesting. Lawful evil. That might go really well with the flaw of carnal pleasures. Okay, let's pick the sex of our character now, and we're going to roll a d6, and we're going to be treating it like a d3 here. 1 and 2 will be male. 3 and 4 female. 5 and 6 is indeterminate. So 4, we are going to be a female. So a female druid thus far. All right, let's go over now to names. And for this, I'm actually going to leave the player's guide and go over to Xanathar's Guide to Everything. In the very end of Xanathar's Guide, we have a list of different names. And let's go ahead now and see if there are any halfling names listed here. I think there probably are. Here we go. Halfling names. Let's start with the female name. And we're going to roll a D100. So female halfling names. That is going to be a 2. And a 2 will be, let me see if I can read it here. For the female halfling name is Alain, A-L-A-I-N. And let's go ahead and roll for the family name now. And we will roll also a D100. 77. And the name for the last name, the family name, is going to be Tea Leaf. So Alain Tea Leaf is the name of our character. Excellent. Interesting. Alain Tea Leaf. And now for the last thing I want to do, and this is just for the sake of having a little bit more fun, I want to go ahead and roll for trinkets. Now, the trinkets are kind of cool little things that you can have with you, little extra pieces of equipment. And we're going to roll for 3 of them, because this could be really some interesting stuff when you try to incorporate these things into the story, the gameplay. Might give you some nice and interesting hooks to use as you are developing your character. So let me find the trinket section here in the player's handbook. I should have looked this up earlier and put a bookmark there, but I didn't. All right, let's see here. It's under the equipment section here. All right. Trinkets. Why can I not find the trinkets? There they are. Page 160 to 161. So this is also going to be a D100. We're going to roll this 3 times to see what 3 trinkets we are going to have with our character, Alain Tea Leaf. So here we go. First one is going to be 75. We have a set of bone pipes. Interesting. A set of bone pipes. Second trinket is going to be 0. That's 100. A metal urn containing the ashes of a hero. Interesting. What hero? How did I get those ashes? That is something that we would want to incorporate into the story. And the third trinket is going to be 82. And 82 is half of a floor pan for a temple. Excuse me. Half of a floor plan for a temple, castle, or some other structure. Oh, that is interesting. Why do I only have half? What is the structure? Am I using it to find something? Am I using it to fill out my story in some way? Really interesting. So those are the 3 trinkets that we were going to include with our character. And what we can do now is we basically got all the the nuts and bolts of the character now. And one of the great things you can do now is to take all this information that you have written down as you've followed along in this process. Let's go over to fastcharacter.com, which is a great website where you can create characters really quickly. And let's take all of the information that we have gathered thus far and put it into the character sheet there. And what this will do now is when we go through the process of filling it all in, it will give us a randomly assigned character in the sense that it'll give us random attributes as far as strength and charisma and wisdom. And this makes it really fun because I don't really have any idea how smart this person is, how dexterous they are, how strong they are. So it'll be really fun to just go ahead and do that random process. And in addition to that, we will get some weapons and some other equipment, and everything will be listed there. So when we put all of our information in, we get a PDF for this. We can then use this for our character, and we've got everything we need there to finish off our character. Well, there you go, folks. With that quick and easy process, we are able now to prepare a character and to cast ourselves into our solo role-playing game. I hope this is helpful for you, and I'm excited to hear from some of you how this goes for you, what kind of characters you create, and what kind of adventures open up because of them. Well, thank you for joining us here today at Gray Army Gaming for the future of gaming.